Hi, in this video, I will be explaining about the logical reasoning in the topic of statement. So in statement, we have 5 components which are statement, negation, compound statement, implication, and lastly, converse, inverse, and contrapositive. So let's look into the first component, which is statement. What is statement? Statement is a sentence of which the truth value can be determined that it is either true or false, but not both. Question, exclamation and compound sentences is not a statement. Statement can be divided into two, which are true statement and false statement. So let's look into example question to make you guys understand better. We have 4 questions. So determine whether each sentence below is a statement or not. So the first question is, please give me the book. So this sentence is an instruction sentence and we cannot know the truth value of the sentence. So this classified is not a statement. Okay, the next question. Pahang is the largest state in Peninsular Malaysia. So in this sentence, we know that Pahang is the largest state in Peninsular Malaysia and it is true. So we know the truth value of the sentence. So this is a statement which is a true statement. Okay, next is what do you eat today? So this is obviously a question sentence, which is it has a question mark. So a question is not a statement. Okay, next, lastly is 1 is less than 5. So in this sentence, we can know the truth values, which is true that 1 is less than 5. So this is a statement, which is a true statement. Okay, the next example, we have 3 questions, which is this 3 is a mathematical statement. Okay, for the first question, x plus 6 equal to 10. So in this equation, we cannot determine whether this equation is true or false. So with that, this is not a statement. Okay, next, 7 plus 2 is equal to 12. So in this equation, we know that 7 plus 2 is not equal to 12, so it is false. So if we can know the truth value of the sentence, then it is a statement. Okay, lastly, 10 times 3 equal to 30. So it is true, so it's a statement and it is a true statement. Now, let's move on to negation. How do we negate a statement? We use the word no or not to negate a statement. The truth value of a statement changes from true to false or vice versa through the process of negation. So for example, we have 4 questions. So negate the following statement. So the first question is 0.3 is equal to 300 millimeter. So to negate is a statement. It will be 0.3 meter is not equal to 300 millimeter. Okay, next, 25 is a perfect square root. So the negate statement is 25 is not a perfect square root. Next, all even numbers are divisible by 2. So to negate it, it will be all even numbers are not divisible by 2. Lastly, 30% of 10 is 5. So the negation will be 30% of 10 is not 5. So basically, the negation is we put the word no to the statement to produce a different meaning, to produce a opposite meaning. So by put not in the sentence, we will negate the statement. Move to the next component, which is compound statement. What is a compound statement? A compound statement is a combination of two or more statements by using word and or. And is used for meaning to both, while or is used for meaning to one of them. So example question, have two example. So combine the following statement P and Q by using the word and or. So the first question, statement P, square has 4 equal sides. And statement Q, circle has no side. So we can combine these two statements using the word and it will be square has 4 equal sides and circle has no side. But if we combine it with using the word or, it will be square has 4 sides or circle has no sides. Okay, the next question, the statement P is 2 is an even number. Q, 2 is a prime number, so it has the same subject. So when we combine these two statements using the word and, it will be 2 is an even number and prime number. For or, it will be 2 is an even number or prime number. Okay, the next example, we also have two questions. Okay, first question is 2 and 4 are lower than 10. So we determine the two statements P and Q in the compound statement. So 2 and 4 are lower than 10. So the two statements P and Q is P is 2 is lower than 10 and Q 4 is lower than 10. So next, 23 or 31 is an odd number. So the statement P will be P 23 is an odd number and statement Q will be 31 is an odd number. So next example, we look into this picture. We have 3 people with the bicycle. So we can perform 3 statements based on this picture, which are the first statement P, Siti is standing beside the bicycle. So for statement Q, Aisha is standing beside the bicycle. And last, statement R, Ahmad is standing beside the bicycle. So we make a statement based on this picture. So the question is, combine two statements by using the words and or. So the first compound statement is Siti and Aisha are standing beside the bicycle. The next compound statement, Siti and Ahmad are standing beside the bicycle. And lastly, Siti or Ahmad are standing beside the bicycle. From these 3 compound statements, we notice that the statement first is true, which is Siti and Aisha are standing beside the bicycle because both of these girls is standing beside their bicycle. But for the combined statement, for the compound statement of number 2, Siti and Ahmad are standing beside the bicycle is false because Ahmad is not standing beside his bicycle but he is riding his bicycle. So this statement is false. But if we look into the third statement, which is Siti or Ahmad are standing beside the bicycle, this statement will be true because part of the statement is true, which is Siti is standing beside the bicycle is true, but Ahmad are standing beside the bicycle is false because Ahmad is riding the bicycle. But we can consider it true because part of the sentence is true. So it will be easier to know the truth value of the compound statement by the truth table. So as we can see, in the combination of P and Q, if one of the combination is false, then the compound statement will be false. It must be both statement true to make the compound statement will be true. Okay, for P or Q, we can see that if part of the statement is true, whether P statement is true or Q statement is true, then the compound statement of P or Q will be true. But if both are false, then it will be false for P, for the combined sentence of P or Q. Okay, next, we move to implication. Okay. What is implication? Implication is a statement that consists of antecedent and consequent. If P then Q is known as implication, where P is an antecedent and Q is a consequent. Other than if P then Q, the implication P if and only if Q is also used frequently in logical reasoning. So the example question, we have two questions. So form an implication if P then Q with the given antecedent and consequent. So the antecedent is X is a factor of 16, which antecedent is P, then consequent, which is Q, is X is a factor of 64. So the implication is if X is a factor of 16, then X is a factor of 64. Okay, next, the antecedent is X minus Y is greater than 0. The consequent, X greater than 0. So the implication will be if X minus Y is greater than 0, then X is greater than Y. Okay, the next example, we also have two questions. So the question is determine the antecedent and consequent from the following implication. So in this implication, if K is divisible by 5, then K is a multiple of 5. So the antecedent is K is divisible by 5 and the consequent is K is a multiple of 5. The next question, if Y is a prime number, then K only has two factors. So the antecedent and consequent is Y is a prime number and the consequent is K only has two factors. Okay, we move to the next subtopic, which is converse, inverse, and contrapositive. Converse is known as conversion of a statement, while inverse is known as negation of a statement which we inverse the meaning of the statement, while contrapositive is a combination of converse and inverse. So we converse the statement first and then we negate the statement. So in general, statement is usually an implication, which is if P then Q, then converse will be if Q then P. We converse the statement. So it will be if Q then P. Next is inverse. So we inverse the statement. It will be if not P then not Q. So the contrapositive, we converse the statement and then we inverse it, and it will be if not Q then not P. So let's look into example question. We have two questions. First, if 50 is a multiple of 10, then 50 is a multiple of 20. So we write the converse, inverse, and contrapositive. It will be the conversion is if 50 is a multiple of 20, then 50 is a multiple of 10. Okay, the inverse is if 50 is not a multiple of 10, then 50 is not a multiple of 20. So the contrapositive, If 50 is not a multiple of 20, then 50 is not a multiple of 10. Okay, the next question. If x is a negative number, then x is less than 0. So the converse, inverse, and contrapositive of this implication will be converse is if x is less than 0, then x is a negative number. So the inverse is if x is not a negative number, then x is not less than 0. And lastly, the contrapositive will be if x is not less than 0, then x is not a negative number. Okay. These converse, inverse, and contrapositive also have a truth table. So to determine whether the statement converse, inverse, and contrapositive is true or false, we can see if the truth table of an implication if P then Q is always true except when P is true and Q is false happen at the same time. If an antecedent is false, then consequent if the antecedent is false, then the implication if P then Q is always true without depending on the truth value of the consequence. So as we can see, if the antecedent is false, then implication will, if the antecedent is false, the application if P then Q will always be true. So without depending on the value of the consequence. Okay, we move to next, which is counterexample. What is counterexample? Counterexample is an example to negate the truth of a particular statement. So we want to prove that the statement is false by showing the true example or the true answer. So for a false statement, at least one counterexample can be given to negate the truth of that statement. Example question. We have 4 questions. So determine the truth value of the following statement. If the statement is false, give one counterexample to support your answer. So the first question is 4 and 7 are the factors of 20. So this statement is false. So we need a counterexample to support our answer. So it is false because 7 is not a factor of 20. So next, if x is not a root of x cubed minus 1 equal to 0, then x is not equal to 1. So this statement is a true statement. So it will no need any counterexample because it is true. So next, not all multiple of 10 are multiple of 2. So this statement is false. So we need a counterexample to support our answer. So it is false because all multiple of 10 are divisible by 2. Okay, lastly, some prime numbers are even numbers. So this statement is true. So it will no need any counterexample. Okay, this is all for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you get something from this video and good luck for your study. Thank you.